Hey,
Bring
hey,
it.
hello. I love the applause. I love the applause. Thank you for that warm introduction, Coach Lee. And like Coach Lee said, get a piece of paper and a pen, okay? Because this is interactive. This is interactive. Okay, so first and foremost, can I ask everybody, by show of hands, who here has a visibility plan for their business? Anybody, just show of hands. Who has a visibility plan for their business? Excellent. Now, who here, since we're all business owners, who here considers themselves a marketer?
No, we're all marketers.
Show of hands. Or type in the chat, me. Here's the thing. If you are watching this, you are a marketer, whether you want to be or not. And it does not have to be frightening. It does not have to be overwhelming, but you do have to recognize, unless you have enough money to hire a manufacturer's rep and to go sell for you, and you can be just behind your laptop, you are a marketer. And today we are going to talk about visibility. The topic of this talk is beyond social media. Let's create a one-page visibility plan, because what I have found is that oftentimes business owners invest in all sorts of things in their business, but then they want to Google and YouTube University all about marketing. And they want to Google and YouTube University and post their random Facebook groups about how to get visibility. Okay, so I said, okay, why not create a visibility plan? And the reason we are going to create a plan, I wrestled with how to do today's presentation. I wrestled with it because I said, well, I could talk some theoretical stuff, right? I could talk theory, and then you would leave excited, because you're going to be excited listening to me, but you leave excited with, what am I supposed to do next after she stops talking? You leave the blank screen, you wouldn't know what to do next. However, I think we can all agree that marketing is about taking action, which is why we are going to take action in this 20-minute segment. You cannot experience the benefits of marketing by simply being passive, by simply listening to me talk. Marketing is what I call an active sport. Okay, this is an active sport, and you are an active participant in your business, correct? I'm sure you are. So that's why I decided to make this an interactive experience for all of us, myself included. In this way, you will walk away with a framework for getting more visibility for your business. Because by a show of hands, do you know what 25% more visibility in front of your ideal audience could do for your business? Or even 50%? Have you considered that? So wherever you are today, right at this moment, in terms of your impressions, your visibility, who you're connected to, your network, your partners, your clients, imagine what 50%, 25 to 50% more visibility in front of your ideal audience. Imagine, just ponder that for a second, what that could do for the trajectory of your business. Next week, that's why this is going to be interactive. I wanted you to leave with something tangible to work with. That's why if you haven't gotten that piece of paper and pen, now's the time to grab it, okay? So, show of hands, who's ready? Everybody got their pen and their paper? Okay, great. The first, and I'm going to do this with you, because I'm going to show you just how simple this exercise can be. So, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. The first thing I want you to write on your piece of paper, title that My Visibility Plan. And like I said, I am doing this with you. So title your paper, My Visibility Plan. And what we're going to do, I want you to draw a line from the top of the page to the bottom of the page in the middle. So do a north-south line, and then in the middle of the page, do an east-west line. So you basically have 4 boxes or 4 quadrants. See, I just did it, okay? All righty. So the first thing that I want to talk about is you. I want to talk about you. We want to identify your strengths and your preferences in your business. So I want you to reflect on 3 strengths related to your business, like what activities energize you and make you feel confident when interacting with potential clients in your audience. How do you prefer to engage with them? What lights you up? For example, some people like to go to networking events. Some people love face-to-face communication. Some people love hosting webinars. Some people love sales calls. Some people like chatting in direct messages. Reflect on three of your strengths related to your business. What marketing activities do you enjoy the most? And while we're doing this exercise, since it is real time, I'm putting us on a timer, okay? So I'm gonna give you 1 minute to do that part of the exercise. And in that first box on the left-hand side, write those strengths down. I want you to identify your strengths, and don't be humble. Just write down your strengths. This is a self-assessment we're doing here. I like it, Coach Lee. I like it. And of course, you can write down more than 3 if you want, but I won't bombard you too much. Write them in that first box. Okay, since we're all familiar with ourselves, I'm going to presume you wrote that down. Under that, in that first box, here's what I want you to do. I want to look at what you don't like to do. So the second part of this self-assessment, write down 1 or 2 things that you absolutely refuse to do, don't like to do. And I'm going to tell you why this is important in the next segments. But what are 1 or 2 things that you do not like to do? Is it certain types of meetings you don't like? Is it certain social media platforms you don't like? Is it certain types of clients you don't like to work with? A certain marketing tasks that just get up under your skin. Write down what you dislike when it comes to marketing in your business, because I got plenty of dislikes myself.
Does that go in the same box or a different one?
Write it in the same box. Yep, we're doing a self-assessment box.
Oh,
And I actually wrote down, I do not like ... and fill that blank in. What don't you like? And it's okay to be honest with yourself, because you are not turning this in. I am not the teacher. This is not homework. You're doing this for your benefit. And I'm going to tell you how we tie this in. Okay, what don't you like? 1 or 2 things. Okay, so everybody has their first box completed, their self-assessment? I hope so. Okay, so the next exercise, I want to talk about your ideal client or customer. So in that box, next to the self-assessment box, on the right-hand side, got my self-assessment box here. This box right here is going to be my ideal client or customer. I want you to create a snapshot of your ideal client or customer in that box. Are you all familiar with the term client avatar? Floats around since forever. Create a snapshot of who your ideal client or customer is. If they don't have a name, if you don't already have one, give this person a name and describe who they are. You can describe demographics like their age, lifestyle, where they live, educational background. You can talk about psychographics, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. You can talk about what they read, what they don't read, how they consume content, what their favorite podcasts might be, what their favorite YouTube channels might be, what their favorite magazines might be. But just create a bullet list snapshot of who your ideal client is, because we're going to use this as part of our guiding light, our North Star for our visibility plan. Okay. All right, now we have our self-assessment of what we like and don't like, and we have a snapshot of our ideal client. Now, here's where the meat comes in. I want to talk about marketing for a minute. You know, according to Small Business Trends, 73% of small businesses invest in social media marketing. But I want to take your marketing a step further. Social media is not the only way to market your business. Okay, so this is our little interlude before we fill in that third box. I want you to look at your self-assessment and what you like or don't like to do. So for example, I like to speak, I like to host webinars, but I also like writing blogs and creating graphics. I like hosting events and participating in offline and virtual events. But you know what I don't like? I don't like coffee chats. I don't like coffee chats. For a person like me, we're going to get to the meat or not, because the moment you hang up from me, you forgot about me if all you do is coffee chats. I tell people, and my joke is you can trip over a marketer as soon as you leave the house. So coffee chats are not profitable for me. Something that I don't like to do. I don't go to dedicated networking meetings for that same reason. I like trainings, mixed in with networking, but just like general networking, they really don't work for me. That's not my personality. So that's part of my self-assessment. Okay. So when I think about how to market my business, what I want to use, I like getting booked on podcasts because I like to speak. I like blogging and guest blogging because I like to write. So look at your self-assessment and figure out how you're marketing your business now, and does it directly relate to the things that you like to do? So for example, if you're a speaker or you just love to talk, are you getting yourself booked on podcasts? Are you speaking at events and conferences? Are you hosting webinars? Are you attending networking events? Do I have any writers in here? Anybody that loves to write? If you love to write, are you using the platforms online that support writers? Are you focused on blogging? Are you guest posting on relevant sites? Are you writing articles for industry publications? Are you writing compelling email marketing content, newsletters, and things like that? If you're a person that loves to talk and you love video, are you harnessing the power of YouTube? YouTube is a search engine. It's far more than just social media. Okay, and then you could repurpose content for other channels. Or if you're a video enthusiast, are you posting on TikTok? Are you going live on TikTok? Are you going live, doing live streams? If you are a natural storyteller, where are you highlighting yourself and your storytelling? That could be compelling email marketing content. That could be doing quick shorts and telling quick stories, because the natural storytellers, then you likely have like a 60-second story, a 2-minute story, a 5-minute story. How are you telling stories, and how are you incorporating stories into your overall content? And the reason I say that is because the next segment of your visibility plan is choosing the right online platforms to get yourself visible, because there are numerous platforms, but that does not mean you need to be on all of them. I'm not going to tell you to be on all of them. I'm going to tell you, identify where your ideal client or customer is looking for the products and services you offer. That's why I had you write down those bullet points about your ideal client or customer. You need to know where they are looking for your products and services. Now, here's the thing. Your ideal client or customer is on all the social media channels. They're on all the things online. That doesn't mean they're shopping for what you offer on that platform. That just means they're on that platform. So for example, if you are a career coach for high performing professionals, yes, your clients are probably randomly scrolling on TikTok, and they might be searching for dresses on Pinterest, but they're not looking for your high performance coaching there. Where are they going to be? You're probably going to be on LinkedIn. Does that make sense? So think about your ideal client that you just wrote about, and think about that self-assessment, what you like to do. And in exercise 3, on that bottom left box, I want you to put the online platforms that you are going to use to market your business right now. It could be something that you're currently doing, or it could be something that you plan on doing. Pick no more than 2 platforms, because unless you have a social media manager like me, you're going to be overwhelmed. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. The point of this exercise and the point of this visibility plan is so that you walk away with next steps. You know exactly what to do. At least for Q4, you know where you should be and what you should be focusing on. So in that box, choose 2 online platforms that you're going to use to market your business for the rest of the year. They could be social media channels. They could be networking association events. They could be forums that you're going to be on. You could be answering questions on Quora or Reddit. Doesn't matter which platforms, but just identify 2 online platforms that you're going to use to market your business for the rest of the year. based on where your ideal client is looking for you. And the reason I'm only saying 2 is because many of us get exhausted with our businesses because we're trying to do too much. We're just trying to do too much. So we're gonna stop that. We don't stop trying to do too much. If it's just you as the marketer and the coffee maker and the errand runner and the administrator and the contractor and the invoicer, going to all these platforms, even if you're repurposing, going to all these platforms, you're spending more time posting on social media than you are running your business. And that's not the goal of marketing. Marketing should be an asset for you. It shouldn't cause you exhaustion and overwhelm. So again, that's why we're only picking 2 online platforms. Okay, so now that you have your 2 online platforms, we're going to fill in that last box with the infamous C word. Does anybody know what the infamous C word is? If you do, drop the C word in the chat as it relates to marketing. It is a word that is thrown around all the time, and it makes, close, consistency.
Oh, yeah.
That infamous, yeah, Dr. Pat, that infamous C word is consistency. Okay, so what are the benefits of consistency? Of course, it builds trust and credibility with your audience over time, right? Of course, it enhances your brand recognition and improves engagement rates, but it's easier said than done. So here's what we're going to do in our final box. We're going to tie this beautiful plan together. And I want you to write down for yourself, how often, what is the frequency of whatever you're going to do online? So for example, one of my online platforms is YouTube. So for consistency, I'm going to post 1 full-length video on YouTube once a week. Just consistency. If you're posting, if one of your things is creating LinkedIn articles, how often will you do them? If you are posting reels on Instagram, how often will you do them? If you are hosting webinars, how often will you do them? Write down what your consistency in terms of your marketing will be. Do not overstretch, do not overreach, because what happens when you don't hit it? You're gonna feel like a failure. And I don't know about you, I'm like, okay, I just wanna go watch Netflix. I don't even wanna be bothered. Listen, you don't have to say it, I'll say it for you. Oh my God, I just need a nap. This is too much. That is what happens when you suffer from overwhelm, particularly related to your marketing. I see you laughing, Coach Lee, because that's what happens. So whatever your consistency is, don't think about the future you. Think about the you today that has kids and groceries and taking care of your parents and family. Think about how, at a minimum, you can be consistent. Can you do something once a week, twice a week? Write that consistency down in that final box, because consistency is crucial for your online visibility. And I want you to choose a realistic schedule, and I want you to stick with it, because at the end of the day, I want you to avoid the desperation that comes with panic marketing. This is why we did this exercise. This is why, believe it or not, you have a 1-page visibility plan that I promised you in the title of this. You actually have it. You have it. Look at your piece of paper. You actually have it. You have self-assessed, and you know what your strengths are. So if you don't like doing video, then stop saying you're going to start TikTok. No, you're not. So stop saying that. Okay? You know who your ideal client is. You know what platforms you're going to use, and you know how consistent you are going to be. Okay? So as we come to the close of this segment, I want you to remember, if nobody knows who you are, you will remain the world's best kept secret. Now, show of hands or drop in the chat, was this helpful? Do you feel like you can now go ahead and market your business successfully and consistently, at least for the rest of 2024? And with that, the floor is yours, Coach.